What up, though? Welcome to the Groundwaves Podcast, hosted by yours truly, Murs. Every episode, we share an inside look at Groundwaves Hip Hop, the nation's premier hip hop community development movement, which I founded in 2019. The movement, like this podcast, is all about mentorship, growth, and what happens when you create a safe space, but not a fake space, for hip hop to breathe. Let's get into it. This is the first episode of the Groundwaves Podcast, and I'll be your host for the next few months. In the first season of said podcast, we wanted to open up the series by telling you guys what Groundwaves actually is. It's a hip-hop community building movement, which began as the open mic and mentorship program. Right now, we're operating in the magnificent city of Chicago. Now, allow me to paint a picture for you of what a night at Groundwaves is like. It's a Tuesday night, starts about 5 o'clock. It's at a venue called Co-Prosperity Sphere in Pilsen, one of Chicago's many vibrant and beautiful neighborhoods. Free admission, so you walk right in. You'll usually see the homeboy Tom sitting at the front. And he has a slip of paper. If you want to rap, you write your name, your IG handle, and if you care to, your phone number or email so we can contact you about other events. He will hand you, since you're there at 5 o'clock and you're early, there's still drink tickets. So you get 2 drink tickets, 2 tickets if you want a cannabis-infused beverage, 1 ticket if you just want a beer, all from the local brewery Murs. Shout out to Mars, M-A-R-Z. Then you can head over to the left where we have a wide selection of tacos from Antique Tacos, some of the best tacos in the world. I'm from California, and I do not say that lightly. Amazing tacos, amazing fresh-made tortillas. Get there early, I'm telling you. The slip you sign if you're an MC will go into a hat. Tom will bring me that hat and be adding to it through the night as MCs show up. I will grab that hat about 5:30 with all the names on the slips in there and walk up to the mic and give you guys a greeting. What's up? Welcome to Groundwaves. I will let you know that this is a safe space, not a fake space. Safe space because there's no space for hate. There's no hate speech allowed. If anything said or done that makes you uncomfortable, feel free to grab the mic and address it, or come to one of us and we will take care of it. However, it's not a fake space because if you get up on stage and you start wasting our time, that means you're not prepared. You're not giving your best. It doesn't mean you're not the dopest MC. Everyone's at a different level. Success looks different for everyone else. We want to see maximum effort and respect for the culture. If we do not feel that, we will let you know by chanting, "Thank you, come again." And that chant will continue until I'm able to get the mic from you. Next month, you're able to come back. You're guaranteed a space to show your improvement. You're also welcome to come to the mentorship that will take place during the week and meet with me one-on-one, and we can work on whatever. We hope to see you next month and see some improvement. However, that's not the end of it, because the person who started the chant will have to give some constructive criticism, or the loudest person. We're not going to have anonymous trolling. This is not the internet. This is real life. That person will have to speak up and give constructive criticism to the other member of the community so that we continue building and lifting each other up, because that's what Groundwaves is all about. Wednesday night at the same space, we have something similar for producers. And since you guys won't have microphones to curse, we can broadcast that live on Lumpin' Radio. Both evenings and all of our events, except for our Sunday family event, are broadcast live on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/MURS. If you want more information, listen to the rest of the podcast, or you can skip the rest of the podcast and go straight to @Groundwaves Hip Hop on IG or groundwaveshiphop.com for all the infos for the upcoming events. We'll be in Chicago this year of our Lord 2026 from March until September. So please stay tuned for our events. They're all free and everyone is welcome from anywhere in the world. Now, that said, this whole thing started as an open mic 7 years ago. We've been in Tulsa, Northwest Arkansas, but the first event took place in the spring of 2019 in Fort Collins, Colorado. So let's back it up so I can give y'all a little origin story. Let me give you the who, what, where, when, and why. The who is me, and I'm going to just assume, since this is the first episode of the Groundwaves Podcast, that you have no idea who is who. The who is me. I am Murs.
I'm from L.A. California A hot. Days got shade. Let me take you round the way. A lot of out-of-towners can't handle this city where you wear the wrong color and it can get tricky. But that was 86 and things done changed. We a lot more evolved with the way that we bang. Not the rips and the dogs. Man, the smog might kill you. But you ain't gotta worry if you're staying north of Wilshire. Don't be scared of Crenshaw, the Slauson Super Mall, or Earl's Hot Dogs. Man, you gotta do it, y'all. Come on, come to the hood where we do the most good. Magic Johnson be owning everything like he should. Linwood, Long Beach, Hawthorne.
I am a rapper. I've started off in the mid-90s as an independent rapper, selling tapes on the street. Really selling tapes on the street, not like handing you a mixtape and expecting you to make a donation. Standing out with a Walkman, challenging you to listen and tell me to my face that I suck or give me $5 for my cassette.
Check.
From there, I signed to multiple independent labels, eventually landing at Warner Brothers proper. I've worked with everyone from LP of Run the Jewels to Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar. The list goes on. I've worked with a lot of great rappers and musicians throughout my time on the mic.
Broke bread with more rappers than anybody else, cause I know the struggle trying to do it by yourself. Paid dues really made a difference. Mix the boom bap with some pyro and crippin'. Yeah, your favorite rapper got my sauce on him. I can name names, but I ain't trying to boss on them. My name ringing like Bill Russell. Stopped selling weed in the 90s, but I still hustle.
I also started a festival called Paid Dues, which is an independent hip-hop festival, the first of its kind. And we were lucky enough to be the first festival platform for Nipsey Hussle, Mac Miller, Black Hippie, a lot of people to perform.
What up? Paid Dues 2013. Murs just made the big announcement. I'm excited about a few of the names I heard myself. Sugar Free, Scarface.
Sugar Free.
You know what I mean? Classic. But yeah, I'll be performing. I got a ton of new music. You know, Victory Lap on the way, so we're going to do a lot of that on that stage. Neighborhood Net, Paid Dues 2013. I see y'all there.
Paid Dues, y'all rocking with motherfucking Mac Miller right now. Make some fucking noise. Turn up. Mac Miller, talk to each other. He saying fuck me, she like a rubber, that's rugby. I'm partying with a drug screen, it's like a liver don't punch cheeks. Leave a handprint on her punch cheeks, she give me head when I punch trees. I'm on drugs, she on drugs, so no just got money. Get the roll, I told my dick. She riding on that train, she crushing down that powder.
Long Beach, you know. And like I said, this is not a motherfucking, you know, just a show, just paid dues. This is a party. This is a party that's going on, right? So, to serenade all motherfucking success, we gotta turn up. I wanna see the lights on. Can I see the faces? 2 hands up. And when the shit drop, I need y'all to lose your motherfucking mind. Come on, Lee.
If Pyros and Crips
Hey.
all got along, they probably gun me down by the end of the song.
Turn me up.
Seem like the whole city go against me. Every time I'm in the streets, I hear
Let's go. Man down. Where you from?
It was something I was really passionate about due to my journey being an independent rapper. I wanted to create something similar to Warped Tour for us. You know, not Lollapalooza, God bless it, because that's, you know, signed on Warped Tour. I was able to see indie bands on the come up help each other. Even those that came from the indie and made it would still stay on the tour. And it was just the brotherhood I witnessed. So shout out to Kevin Lyman, who founded the band's Warped Tour, because that inspired me to create something where young people and, you know, OGs in the punk scene, or young people and older people, OGs in the scene, could come together. I saw it for punk. Like, moms would open up their minivans and let a bunch of their, you know, white suburban children out for the day and they knew they were safe. There'd be some weed smoke and blah, blah, but they come back in one piece and they would come back indoctrinated with the punk rock ethos. And hip-hop only had Summer Jam. And that wasn't really hip-hop as a culture. You weren't getting a cultural experience. You were getting mainstream stuff, which has its place. I wanted to create something where kids could get the same thing they got at Warped Tour, but the hip-hop version, and I think we did that.
What up, y'all? Should do 2 R's, 2 L's, Real Battle. I'm back here at the illest hip-hop concert in all the world, Paid Dues Festival 2012. Now, we got some of the best acts in the country. Legendary Wu-Tang, legendary Dipset, and a new class, Kendrick Lamar, Odd Future, Wolfgang, Kill 'Em All. Stay here with us, Hip-Hop Official. Let's go.
From there, I've done Twitch. I was the first rapper to have a partnership with Twitch. Starting in 2015, 2016, I set the Guinness World Record for longest rap marathon live on Twitch, rapping for 26 hours.
Hey guys, what up? It's Murs. On October 12th, I will be attempting to set the world record for longest rap marathon. You got it? 24 hours of rapping done by yours truly. You can watch it live and it will be brought to you from unlimited music streaming by Boost Mobile and Slacker Radio. Get out of here. See me then.
This is my resume. I've done over 2,000 shows, toured the world, rap on every continent.
I'm from a city, we represent the Los Angeles Dodgers. This is our national anthem. It goes like this. Let's go, bass. Anybody that represents the West Coast, let me see you put a hand in the air. Look. I'm from L.A. California, A hot. Days got shade, let me take you round the way. A lot of out-of-towners can't handle this city. You wear the wrong color and it can't get tricky. But that was 86.
That is the who. That is the who. That is the who. Probably not a job in hip-hop that I have not done. So that's the who. We're going to skip straight to the how. Groundwaves started in 2019, but the seed for it was planted backstage at Jimmy Kimmel Live in 2003 or 2004.
All right, from the hip-hop haven of Minneapolis, making their network television debut with the song Trying to Find a Balance from this, their album, Seven Travels. Here is Atmosphere.
So I was backstage at Jimmy Kimmel in 2003. Enter a young man named Davis Powers from Fort Collins, Colorado. And this place I had toured over the years. At that point, I had been touring for about 5 years in America. And a lot of our fan base was in Colorado. It is a thriving live music scene and has a lot of love for hip-hop. And we found that out early on. So when he said he was from Fort Collins, I think he was like a production assistant or associate producer or something. He was there to like make sure we got on stage, we were comfortable. I was there just as the hype man for Atmosphere because I had just finished the Warped Tour with him. And I had on my pajama pants from Target, a punk rock bracelet, a half mohawk fade thing I was doing at the time. And I was about to be on national TV rapping for the first time in America. And I was probably nervous, so talky. And me and Davis hit it off. And there's, that's a longer story. But as he traveled throughout his journey in television production, he always hooked me up. He was at Current TV with Al Gore. He got me a contract to be an on-camera talent. And when he became the executive producer of the Carson Daly Show, he put me on there. He put me and Ninth Wonder on there. He put me on there a couple of times.
She said, do you have plans for later on tonight? I said, yes, man, but I sort of have a wife. She looked and said, I know. I said, well, what does that mean? She says, I know, means I know how not to be seen.
He's just always look out for me. When we did our deal with Current TV, it's around the same time I got signed to Warner and I started the Paid Dues Festival. I was stressed. I had lockjaw. I was trying to do too many different things and I had to back out of the deal with him. So I thought I had burned that bridge with Davis, but he's such a great man. He didn't take it personally. He understood. And I'm glad he isn't the kind of person to hold a grudge because Groundwaves wouldn't be here without him. So the real how starts with Davis asking me to come to Fort Collins to see this music center being built. And I say, well, who gives a fuck, man? I've seen the Boys and Girls Club. I've seen after-school music programs, so fucking what? And he's like, nah, you're going to love it. And he mentioned to me like a year before I actually went. And I was like, all right. Then it hit me too. I was like, well, man, like, I kind of owe this dude. I did like flake out on him on this contract. And so a little guilt was in there when he asked me a second time. And then he cornered me because he's like, I know you're going to be in Denver for a show. We're doing a documentary on the place is called the Music District. We're doing a documentary on the Music District for the PBS. I'd like to interview as a part of the documentary. And he got this fantastic rapper by the name of Brer Rabbit from a group called the Flowbots. Anyway, Brer Rabbit did a great interview with me, one of the best interviews I've ever done. But this place, guys, Davis was right to get me into this place. It was a multi-million-dollar facility funded by an amazing benefactor and her foundation, the Bohemian Foundation. And it had multiple rooms for you to rehearse, multiple rooms for you to record, multiple microphones, multiple pedals, anything you needed to record or to rehearse what you record there was there, and it was free. But they had a problem is they weren't getting young people in there. So Davis introduced me to, I believe at the time, the director of the Music District was Jesse Elliott. And I said, oh, it's simple. And I didn't pitch it to him then. I didn't know I was pitching. But once I left there, Dave was like, so what'd you think? I'm like, yeah, man, you're fucking right. This is an amazing place. What do you want from me? And they said, the kids aren't coming. I said, well, you need a fucking open mic, man. It just came to me like that because I, as a boomer or zillennial, whatever you want to call me, I say boomer when I start thinking like I'm 68. I'm 47, by the way. These kids don't want to touch grass. And why do they think they can be rappers sitting in their bedrooms uploading shit to SoundCloud and Spotify? That doesn't make you a rapper. That doesn't make you an MC. You got to get out there and like make friends. You know what I mean? Seeing people be better than you, being better than other people, realizing that you're not as good as you think, and maybe you want to be a DJ, or maybe you want to be an A&R, maybe you want to be a promoter. All those positions need to be filled. I have a friend that used to go to a LA open mic with me, and she became a music business lawyer because of being in the community and wanting to help. When you get into the community, you start wanting to do things, but these devices have taken us away from the community. So I threw it right back at them like, yeah, you want kids in there, they need to fucking go to an open mic. I'll tell you that. Thinking in my head that they didn't want that. Thinking in my head that I'm just giving them an idea, and Davis and Jesse immediately hit me back with, well, write a proposal. I don't know how to do that. I didn't go to college. My wife did. And so I asked her to help me write a proposal. Then they funded it. And I'm like, okay, I have this time and this time off from tour. Like I said, I was a working musician, father of 2 or 3 at the time. I'm currently a father of 4, but the sole provider. So my touring and merch sales and streams, believe it or not, paid our bills. I had a couple mortgages and a lot of mouths to feed. But I had this time, and they were going to compensate me for the time. Not as much as I would have made on the road, but I didn't have any shows at the time. I'm taking it. And I personally wanted to help build Colorado. Colorado is such an important market for hip hop. But it's the only state I know of with all the major 5, a soccer team, a hockey team, a basketball team, a baseball team, and a football team, and no platinum rappers. And one is not enough. There's no city with all 5 of those. They have championships. It's not a B market. And it's not like hip hop isn't big there. It just never made sense to me. Or that time, it didn't make sense to me. So I was trying to I owe a debt to Colorado, the Colorado hip hop scene. I want to help grow this scene. And this is an amazing place to do it. If someone else is in the Bohemian Foundation is investing this much money, I can invest my time. Let's go for it. I thought I'd pass it off once I got it going for them. 2019, 2018, we're planning this out. And Jesse Elliott, who was key to this story and key to Groundwaves, and I'm so grateful for him, he said, why don't you add a mentorship element? And at the time, I'm not thinking, I'm like, who the fuck wants to talk to me? This is stupid. But, you're paying for it, you want it. I can stay extra day in Colorado. I have family there, and I had never heard of artists in residence housing. It wasn't like when a foundation says they have some place for you to sleep, in my experience, it's like super punk rock. And that means like maybe a couple roaches, pea-stained mattress for you to sleep on the pull-out couch. And you sleep in your hoodie and all your clothes on with your hands in your pocket and get to Starbucks in the morning and wash yourself in the sink type stuff. That's not what they had at the Music District. It was a wonderful, fully furnished apartment, no television, but lots of music for you to listen to, a full kitchen, with snacks, it was amazing. The hospitality was next level. So I was like, yeah, I can definitely stay an extra day to meet with someone if you guys put me up. Whoever, that one person that shows up. So now we have a format. I gave the open mic format that I learned from, traditional hip hop and regular open mics. And 200 people showed up. The population of Fort Collins is 174,000, something like that. It's a small city. And for there to be 200 people that want to rap in Fort Collins, Colorado, I won't even mention the ethnic demographics, but there's a small percentage of people of color there. But there's lots of rappers and lots of amazing rappers I found out. Shout out to Mitchell James, Iron Team, Kent Washington. The list goes on, man. I've met a lot of dope MCs from Fort Collins through that. Greaves, formerly of Rhymesayers, he's from Fort Collins as well. There's dope MCs there, and I had my mind blown. Line out the door, we had over 50 rappers. It went overtime. The staff was happy to accommodate. They gave us a sound man who, his name is Hayden, but I didn't like that. He's in like a really popular ska band or something. Sorry, Hayden, to be disrespectful, but I was like, I'm not going to call you Hayden. Like, do you have a hip hop name? And he was like, yeah, Tugboat is what they call me in the band sometimes. So I'm like, you're Tugboat. And Tugboat is one of the best sound men and rappers. We find out later. He was like a little hesitant to rap. He's fucking amazing MC, but he would mix every artist on that stage at Groundwaves, Colorado. Like he really gave a fuck. So it's like better than an open mic because you have someone that's not just letting you plug in your aux, like they're getting your levels, they're tuning your mic, your highs, your mids, your lows, all on the fly. But at least you have someone, if you've been to open mics before, you know that's not always the case. And that made that night special, and also made the format going forward. I always try to hire someone just to work the sound, to make sure we have that in the budget so that we at least sound as good as the best open mic in town, or we are the best sounding open mic in town. That is really important to me and our community. And it was free of charge. The music district compensated for me for my time for mentorship and hosting and organizing. And it went off so good, so well. And I was like, oh man. And so we did a full season. We had a season finale. We did a big cypher. It was amazing. I was trying to figure out if I could do this again, how I could do this again, how could I schedule touring around it? And then the world went to sleep. COVID hit.
I am officially declaring a national emergency. We need to do a lot more. We have to stay ahead of the game in preventing this.
Our testing capacity is nowhere near what it needs to be.
And during the pandemic, Colorado was on lockdown. But I also lost my job. The only job I've had for 20-something years at that point. And I never thought would go away. At least not that. Like, even if I fell off, it would just fizzle out. I didn't, no musician was expecting, no working musician was expecting that to happen. No one on earth was expecting that to happen. But working musicians weren't expecting anything that could disrupt their livelihood like that. And by the grace of God, I had something I could do. Aside from, I had been on Twitch for 3 years already. So when everyone else was trying to figure out Twitch, I had that going. And so I pitched to the music district, like, hey, we can keep Groundwaves going, have them film themselves doing videos or make videos, because this is a skill, unfortunately, as MCs, to be successful, to make a living, you're going to have to become a content creator. So this is perfect time to either find out how to work these skills or to refine these skills. So I said, have them make videos. They have a whole month, because Groundwaves only meets once a month, or just play a beat and rap into the camera. And they said fine. And being an amazing group of philanthropic organization, they were like, we're going to pay you the same as if you were coming here every month. And you can do the one-on-ones on Zoom. And I forgot to tell you that the one-on-ones the next day after the open mic, forgive me, went amazing. I was meeting with rappers from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. There was all kinds of rap. The one that stood out most to me was a hemp farmer who only had done spoken word and had never heard the Beastie Boys. And he was a 40-something-year-old hemp farmer. And he said, I got to come early because I got to get back to the farm. And he schooled me on hemp farming. And I said, you should probably start listening to rap with Beastie Boys and Goody Mob, because he was a very conscious type of individual. And, then later he's emailing me like, have you heard of this, and have you heard of Public Enemy? Like, he's just going, stuff I thought was just taken for granted. I was able to put him up on, and things about him that I didn't know. It was just a great exchange of ideas, and that was just my first one-on-one. And that caused me to think like, yeah, you've had mentorship your whole life. For me, it was the guy at the record store who I think bought our local record store through a gambling debt, acquired it. So he was a hustler, and he allowed me to go to the Rap Sheet conference, which changed my life. He said, if you don't go to school, I can't tell you not to go to school. If you don't go to school, I'll give you my ID and you can get in this conference. And they had panels on A&R and music development. This is the same conference where the next year Eminem would come and win the rap battle. But this was the first year, and the first year I believe was 95, and they had, or 94, 95, and they had Old Dirty Bastard doing a showcase, Supernatural, one of the greatest freestylers to ever live. He was signed to Elektra, the Elektra record, Brand Newbie, and they had a showcase. Yeah, I saw so much that day. The exhibit was just signed, and the Loud Records crew was there, and they had their jackets on, and their jackets were Haley Henson, but it was like, I got to see A&Rs and these people in the industry that looked like me, and I wanted to have one of those jobs. I didn't even want to rap at the time. I just wanted to work at a label, and I met the great Charlie Collins, who was working marketing at BMG, which distributed Sony, Jive, and other labels. RCA, which was also Loud, was under that. And I became one of the first kids on the street team. And I was putting up Mobb Deep stickers and Tool stickers, a band I wouldn't even know what the fuck who they were until I met Atmosphere. But it got my foot in the industry. It got me my first quasi internship. And so Charlie mentored me. Walker Martin, who owned a record store, was a mentor to me. There was a hip hop hotline because hip hop was illegal. You couldn't throw shows because they don't want to insure them. So you had to call a hotline to get the number to a warehouse or a musicians institute or something where they would have these clubs or vacant lots. Like that guy, I left enough messages where he let me go under his wing, and he was starting a magazine. So I got to intern in hip hop journalism and go to different conferences with that. These conferences, these older people who took me under their wing and taught me stuff, going to open mics and, like I said, seeing people be better than me. They were mentoring me without saying anything. I'm just watching how the pecking order happens, just like someone that had, a jazz musician going to a jam session and seeing people play and knowing that I can't hop on stage right now, but if I go home and breathe like these people and play my scales, one day I'll be good enough to get up on stage. And this was the community that mentored me and raised me. And I was foolish to think that, it would look the same because of these devices and technology, we're a lot more separate. So things don't happen. Kids don't wander into things as they used to. There's no more record store. These kids don't have places to commune, really. Skate parks still exist, which are great, but like the record stores where I met Double K, it's where I would trade tapes with people, where I got to meet Method Man and the Wu-Tang Clan did an in-store, Redman did an in-store, the Alcoholics did an in-store, Keith Murray, Mobb Deep, like all these people. I got to see actual rappers that were on the come up because they weren't platinum artists yet. These are all rappers on the come up, and I got to see them. And the club they performed at was a club called Unity. And the guys, Orlando and Bigga B, rest in peace, they would give me flyers and then tell me to pass them out. And for me passing them out, I would get into the show even though I was 14, 15 years old. They would let me also work the guest list, which I told you I went on to own a festival, and I would have to deal with guest lists and all these things, and how they accommodated their guests and how artists ran a promo tour. Like all these things were given to me through people who didn't call it mentorship, but it was just community. And at some point, technology has kind of, I don't say destroyed, but weakened the hip hop community and I think a lot of music communities, but I'm just going to speak for ours. And if I didn't know by doing this open mic, I would get back into trying to build that community, but this is what we're doing. And yes, mentorship is important. And so if I go back to 2019 and say, yes, dumbass, it's going to be important for you to have a mentorship session because all these things are in me. So when you come to these open mic, to these Groundwaves mentorship sessions, bring your manager, bring the label you signed to. We can bounce ideas off each other. I'm well informed. Like I said, there's not a part of this industry that I haven't been a part of that I'm not willing to share. I am not a gatekeeper. We are all in this game, and I can just show you the doors and tell you how I open these doors, or just point it to you, and you can kick it in however you see fit, because you may not see a door where I know there's one. Or there may be a new door that an old key might work. So these are the things that shaped what Groundwaves is today. So we got through the pandemic with Twitch. And Jesse Elliott, I find out in the Twitch chat, has moved on to another foundation and is bringing his services and magic to Northwest Arkansas. But Jesse was like, you want to do this thing with me? He called me. He's like, I want to talk to you in the chat. And I called him. He said, yo, Northwest Arkansas, you got to go there. I want to bring Groundwaves here. And an amazing foundation or organization he had started with the great Allison Esposito, who would come to be a friend as well, called Cash. And he's like, Northwest Arkansas isn't doing the blue state stuff. You got to pull up. And once again, I'm a musician who has lost his job with, now I think I have 3 mouths to feed, or 4 mouths to feed. So I am on the plane going to Northwest Arkansas. I'm assuming it's like Little Rock, but it's 3.5 hours north and very different. He called me specifically to, there's about like 4 or 5 cities in that region that form up north, NWA as they call it. How fitting. We were in Rogers, which used to literally be a sundown town. If you don't know what a sundown town is, it's a town where if you were black or brown, you had to be indoors before sundown or risk being lynched. We are in the sundown town at the Arts Center for the Ozarks, it was formerly called. And it didn't seem like a fertile ground for Groundwaves, but Jesse Elliott is magic, and it is. So I went there and, I wore a mask the whole time like a Californian would at that time. And plus my wife was pregnant. So I wasn't taking any chances, but I had to be there. And it was the best thing I've done in a long time, because this was the beginning of planning the next foot. We had 1 foot down in Colorado and 1 foot down in Northwest Arkansas. The Colorado program had evolved to a Groundwave Sessions, which was a weekend recording session where we created a compilation. Feel free to check it out online.
I spend my life behind the wilderness. You turn when I ain't feeling shit. Quick to up and leave. Never love the sight of blood. It get me sick to stomach, please. Mind the exercise. Gone on the hill. Too busy paying dues to ever bother with the bill. Lucky father in the will that found a way to seem natural. I'm caught up in the killing.
It's called the Groundwaves Project, completely produced by my friend Curtis King, who was someone that I mentor, who has now in turn become a mentor extraordinaire to millions around the world on YouTube. If you have any questions about anything hip hop, CURTISS, King probably has a video for you.
What's good with you DIYers, and welcome to the DIYer Music Academy. I am Curtis King, an independent artist and music producer.
Curtis DIYer.
DIYers, by now you've heard the news that baby.
Back to Northwest Arkansas, we went off well. We were there for 4 years. And during the second year, Jesse found a way to find funding for us to move to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and paired me with the great Steph Simon, who introduced me to that community. There, we held Groundwaves at the Skyline Mansion, where it's said to have been owned by the head of the Ku Klux Klan, who watched Black Wall Street burn from the balcony. Years later, the Honorable Felix Jones, formerly of the Dallas Cowboys, purchased the property and allowed Steph Simon to host events there. And we had black, brown, queer, white, hippie, gangster, every kind of nationality, walk of life in the hip-hop spectrum, which covers everything, hopefully, on that stage in that building. And I always love to think of how we turn that energy around in that place. Amazing hip-hop community in Tulsa. Found more dope MCs. So many dope MCs where it inspired me. One of the dopest MCs there was like, yo, man, I've really been trying to get on Thop Fest, which is the Happiness of Pursuit Festival that's in Southern California every year. And I was like, what? That's the homie. And 60 East is someone from Southern California who campaigned to be on my festival, paid dues, and got to perform, and then got it tattooed on his throat, and was inspired to create his own festival after paid dues shut down to keep that energy alive, and would call me for mentorship and advice. And I said, fine, I think I could do this for you. And for me, it's always been shoot for the stars, land on the moon. I know that's for everyone, but for me particularly, I heard that from Will.i.am, not to name drop someone else I work with, but it's important for me that relationship was built at an open mic in the early 90s. I always want to give credit to a Filipino organization, a Foundation Funk Collective, and they would just have open mics at random places in art centers throughout LA. And one night especially was just me, Will, Taboo, Apple, two B-boys and a DJ rapping for hours. You never know who you're building with or what you're building. And years later, when I was on Warner Brothers, we got to hang out a lot more. And this one thing he showed me, he was like, man, I was just tired of being underground. Like, we were starving, and I had a chance to shoot for the moon. I shoot for the stars, and I landed on the moon, and I've been still operating like that. So that always stuck with me. So when this dude asked me to get him on Thought Fest, I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to ask 60 for a stage so that I can pick the 5 best MCs. I can bring 15 rappers from Groundwaves because this is me. Like, this has always been me. Community first. Us before me. We before me. Us before I. We before me. And 60 being the great guy, he was like, bring them all. You could have a whole stage. I was like, holy shit. I was expecting to say, like, you could have 3 people, And so then I get a little hardcore about things sometimes. I'm like, okay, well, now I'm going to get everybody on the show. They got to figure out how to get there. And the magical Jesse Elliott is like, no, I'm going to talk to the foundations. We're going to find money. And most of the young people got flown out. Some of these young people, we did Thought Fest 3 years in a row. And so that's 45 rappers from Groundwaves. And that got this opportunity to just fellowship, to travel. Some people were on a plane for the first time. Some people were, California for the first time. I went through the trouble like trying to organize these whole things. And will.i.am has a app called FYI. If you're into AI, please use his platform. But he has a studio here, and when you come to do Thought Fest as a Groundwaves representative, we get a walkthrough of the studio and get an onboarding for his app. So he's still, reaching back and doing things, and still, it's still all related to our open mic experience. Even as he's elevated and as I've elevated, we know how important these things were to us. So I'm organizing all these big deal things for the group of Groundwaves people traveling, and they're like, bro, we just maybe want to go see the ocean for the first time, or get a taco and smoke weed outside and not have to worry about it for once. And it's been dope, man. It's like those three markets changed my life. And if I can go back for a moment to during the pandemic, when I opened up the first couple videos, I broke down in tears. Just from the Colorado branch. We only had one chapter then, and I was in tears. I just from 6 months of meeting, I missed those people. And then seeing that some of them actually incorporated some of the things we talked about in our mentorship sessions, or just seeing that the being in community had made them better, seeing that they were collaborating when there wasn't a time where humans weren't really able to see each other. They had made friends that if they hadn't made them before the pandemic, during the pandemic, who knows who they would have talked to. Like, just things like that, it broke me down, man. And I knew that this is what I wanted to do with my life. And I just kept stepping towards it. And then we had 3 chapters. And then we had an annual trip. And then we had weekend recording sessions, and we had a compilation. And then I got another update that Jesse was leaving, and he was going to Chicago. And a great organization. He was working with a great organization called Good Chaos. Allison and himself were working with them, and they brought me in. And Good Chaos decided to fund a full week of programming. But first they suggested, and I wanted to have some time to research and get to know the community, because Chicago, to me, is the 4th pillar of hip hop. There's Atlanta, LA, New York, and Chicago. And I know great MCs that come there. I've spent a considerable amount of time there over the years and known a lot of dope MCs from there. And I know that the open mic scene and the grassroots organizations are amazing. So I said, well, where does Groundwaves fit in this landscape? Yes, I would love to be funded here, but I got to find a purpose, and I got to find a lane that doesn't step on anybody. And I think we've done that. And so when we had our first event, it went well. Just 1 open mic and 1 open aux for the producers. They were over-attended, praise God. And so now we're going to have 1 open mic, 1 open aux, and then a Saturday where we will have both. and it's just mixing the producers with the MCs. On Saturdays, we have a Groundwaves Generation event, which is all ages. And it's something that I started because I had a friend of mine recently pass away. One of the many reasons I started it. And I've rapped with this man for 30 years, and I didn't know anyone in his family. And so Groundwaves Generation is Sunday at the National Public Housing Museum in Chicago. All these events are free. All of them have free food and drink. But Groundwaves Generations is a thing where there's no rap played with curse words, but we're not playing Kids Bop. Clean music and clean fun. We had our first event, our pilot event. We had hopscotch, double dutch, free ice cream, free vegan food, a performance by Grammy-nominated, and not at the time, but now he's Grammy-nominated, hip-hop artist Mega Ran, and lots of other activations. You can have full access to it's a wonderful museum. And it's just so that we say from 8 months to 88 years old. We want everyone there. Bring your abuela, bring your tia, bring your nieces, your nephews, bring your kids, bring your wife, so that you guys, we're doing work all week, and some of y'all doing work in basements or in studios and going home and telling your partner or your family, oh yeah, I'm rapping with this dude, I'm rapping with J-Bone and blah, blah, and they never get to meet him. This is the time where we get and build community because we see what's happening in the outside world. And yes, we're doing hip hop, and yes, I'm trying to encourage everyone to be able to whatever dream you want to live through rap, whether you want to get signed, make a living off it, or just put out tapes or just upload to SoundCloud still and just sound better. Whatever it is, I want you to achieve that. But through that, I want us to get to know each other and to understand that we are in this together. And the only way we're going to get through this is together. And this is a place for us to practice togetherness. Fridays every month, we will be having in Chicago Friday Fun. We're hoping the first Friday Fun in March, when we kick it off, will be ceramics. We hope to have a bike ride, some movie screenings, some basketball games, some soccer and b-boy and flag football, all free, all ages. Just something also for Friday nights where we could get together and just do things in community. It's the last week of every month in Chicago. It's free. Check out groundwaveshiphop.com or Groundwaves Hip Hop on IG if you want to check it out. But yeah, everybody asks how I got here. This is how I got here. I feel like this is what I meant to do. I'm not someone who's ever loved to perform. I don't like I said, I've always been we, not me. And even when it's been to my detriment, I want to see everyone win. I want to see everyone love each other. And Groundwaves has become what I want to do. I've put out my last album last year. I did my last touring last year. I am fully focused on building this Groundwaves community, whether it be now it's Chicago, but who knows where this will go. But I think the community needs to be brought together now more than the community exists. I don't say I'm building community or inventing community. I'm just building, strengthening the community ties that are already there, connecting the lines, helping people get in touch with one another, and so that we can feel each other and make it through this. Groundwaves, the culture, the community, the come up. What up, y'all? We're about to take a quick break from this episode to highlight one of our favorite up-and-coming artists from the Groundwaves program. Today's artist is Mitchell James, who's originally from Fresno, California, but I met him at Groundwaves, Colorado, where he was attending CSU and working the grounds while getting a degree, while being an artist that contributed to community. His song, PB&J, is one of my favorites. Here's a clip of it.
Life is sweeter than a peanut butter jelly. Oh well. And I'm a lover no matter what you tell me. Until they lock me up or take everything from me, I just tell them keep it coming. I just tell them keep it coming, yeah. Life is sweeter than a peanut butter jelly. Oh well. And I'm a lover no matter what you tell me. Until they lock me up or take everything from me, I just tell them keep it coming. I just tell them keep it coming, yeah. You know how it be, Sunday morning hangover. Overslept, fucked up, I guess the game over. My lady loved me, said she hungry, so I came over. Another night, I'll soon forget, I should've stayed sober. Oh well, I guess you win some, you lose. Flew myself with no wind.
If you have a little more time, I'd like to share with you all my experience as an artist on the come up with a very important open mic that took place in Southern California. So if we could back it up a little bit, and you got a minute, Let me share this with you. Open mics have been around since before the culture of hip-hop was around. I'm assuming. I can't say that for a fact, but, coffee shop, acoustic guitar type shit. Gil Scott-Heron, Last Poets, Watts Prophets. If you don't know those names, please look them up.
When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes, some of us will probably catch it on TV with chicken hanging from our mouths. You'll know it's revolution because there won't be no commercial. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes. Preacher pimps are gonna split the scene with the communion.
In LA, we had a place called the World Stage. I'm sure, it's open mic. Just for musicians, they're called jam sessions, open jams, jazz musicians. This is the hip hop version of that. Improv sometimes, get up in a room full of your peers and colleagues and do your thing. Get up and do your thing in a room full of your peers is the format. My first experience with open mic is at the legendary Good Life Cafe located on Crenshaw and Exposition. It was a health food store. For those of you who aren't from LA, for better or worse, depending on who you talk to, it's not the quote-unquote worst hood, but it is the hood. It is the inner city. It's sometimes considered South Central. Nowadays, it's the Crenshaw District, West LA, I don't know. Large black population. Crenshaw is a major thoroughfare for the black community in Los Angeles. Was and still is. I came into the Good Life, I believe, 91, 92. I believe the fall of 1992. The Good Life was founded by the great B. Hall and her son Arcane Blaze. From my understanding, there's a documentary that I have not watched, so forgive me, but you can watch it.
Good Life was like an escape.
A release.
It was like home.
Something like that couldn't happen in any other city, in any other part of the world, at any other time. It was perfect.
Unmanufactured, unprocessed hip-hop. It's raw hip-hop. That's where you go.
And the hip-hop and the hip-hop clan. And the hip-hop clan. Funky Drink. And the hip-hop clan. And the hip-hop clan.
But before there was a documentary, I read about this place in The Source magazine, which was a monthly magazine nationwide. Hip-hop, culture, music, and politics. I think that was the byline. I have to say these things now because I'm old AF and maybe you never heard of The Source, but it was the ultimate hip-hop publication for many, many years, decades. And they covered news. And before the internet, this is how you found out about hip-hop. I lived in the city, but the way I found out about The Good Life was through a magazine published out of the East Coast, founded by some Harvard graduates. So hip-hop journalism was so valuable at the time. I saw this in a magazine. I knew where it was. I asked my mom to go. Arcane Blaze and B. Hall allegedly, from my understanding, started this for something, for at-risk youth to go to express themselves, get kids off the street into a health food store, doing their thing. The health food store, I don't know who owned The Good Life, but they were kind enough to let people come in and rap. Maybe 1,000 square foot room. There was a wheatgrass machine. This is the 90s. They were on that wheatgrass and juicing shit way back then. There are pictures of African animals on the wall, a small stage in the corner of the room. CVE, who I believe it was like Fish and Red, one of the founding crews or the OG crews of The Good Life, would work the sound. I'd say you could fit 100 people in there. 95%, unfortunately, like most hip-hop events, all men. Young black men, most, predominantly between the ages of, when I say predominantly, there may be 2 or 3 white people out of the 100, and maybe 1 or 2 brown people, Latino people, and 1 Asian guy who was my friend Ted. That the only one I knew of that went there. Fame, Eli. I can name the non-black people that were there in my era. The Degenerate, shout out to Blunts, or the Latino delegation. So this is the 90s. It was very pro. So there was Nation of Islam. There were Muslims. There were 5%ers. There were Rastas. There were Christians and Bloods and Crips. All organizations in the black community were there. and the ego and aggression that goes with hip-hop, especially in the 90s. And the rebellion and the politics, everything was live. 92 is when I started coming, is fresh out of the uprising, which happened in April of 92. You know, the truce of 9 deuces, they call it, lasted too briefly. But by this time, there are, in my opinion, more guns than ever on the street because there are a lot of gun places were looted. So it was just, if you weren't from the inner city, you know, because we were going outside of that madness every day, so it was nothing. But I think if you were not from the inner city, it was a pretty intense time to try your luck and pull up. You had to be brave. You had to be bold. The rules were simple. You sign the list. You pay $3 to get in if you're going to sign the list and rap, $5 if you don't. Skip to the end of the story. I always paid $5. There were legendary MCs all over, wall to wall. So the rules were, if a chant starts with please pass the mic, you have to give the mic up. And it would go, please pass the mic. Please pass the mic. Please. And a room full of 100 grown men. Please, and waving their hands. You got to give it up. You had to obey. The second rule was no touching the paintings. You could not lean on the paintings of these African animals. I believe there was a giraffe and some more stuff. Like wall to floor canvas, don't lean on the paintings. And the third was you could not bite Das Effects. For those of you who don't know, Das Effects was kind of like the Migos of my time. And people hate that I make that comparison, but I love them both dearly. I think they're two of the most innovative groups in hip-hop history because Migos kind of made popular, introduced, some people say invented, I'm not going to argue with you, the triplet style. Used by everybody after that.
Versace Medusa head on me like Illuminati. I know that you like it. Versace my neck and my wrist is so sloppy. Versace, I love it. Versace the top of my Audi. My plug is Giancotti, he give me the dose and I know that they mighty. Shoes and shirt Versace. Yo bitch went in on my pockets. She asked me why my drawers silk.
Das Effects had a Iggity Riggity out. You could not do the Iggities. The famous Bay Oakland MC Casual had to even come out and say, like, on his debut single, enough with the whackness, enough is my check, enough with these motherfuckers biting Das Effects.
Enough with this whackness, enough is my check, enough with these motherfuckers biting Das Effects.
Everybody was on the Iggities, not in South Central, not on Crenshaw Boulevard at Exposition, and we weren't having it. Everybody was throwing up these W's, and being that it was for at-risk youth, it wasn't a term yet, but that's what they would call it now. Wayward teens. The story I've heard is that it was from Watts, which is the most intense hood, you know, as far as I think some people would say poverty. I would just say it's the epicenter for Watts is rough. It's the most projects, the most government housing, I believe concentrated government housing in Los Angeles. There's the Jordan Downs, there's the Nickerson Gardens, where you've seen these in rap videos, Minister Society, documentaries on Los Angeles. It's a really intense place. And so, of course, some of the youth came from there. And like I said, this is considered West LA, so that's considered the East Side. So a lot of people from the East Side came over, and the W was now meant West Coast. But allegedly, it stood for Watts. I'm not here to argue or be a historian. Watch the film. There are compilations that came out The Good Life. Snoop Dogg, Corrupt, Souls of Mischief. All rappers, most rappers in the 90s came through The Good Life. Ahmad has a hit single Back in the Day, When I Was Young, I'm Not a Kid. That song.
Some days I sit and wish I was a kid again. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid.
I've seen them perform that song a couple times at The Good Life myself, and allegedly he had been performing it for years. He eventually got signed, and I think he got a Grammy for it or something. It was big. It was a huge song. Started The Good Life. Jurassic 5, first time I heard them do Unified Revolution.
I'm part of people, are you with me?
me? Party people, a party people. Are you with me? Are you with me? Party people, a party people. Are you with me? Are you with me? Party people, a party people. Are you with me? Are you with me? Party people.
It didn't get big till like 2000, I think. They were doing it back in 92, 91. Charlie Tuna, Akil. It was a collaborative thing. There was two groups. There was Rebels of Rhythm and Unity Committee. And they did Unified Revolution as a song before Jurassic 5 was even a thing. I was seeing them do that song, which is when some people get frustrated or want to always bust their new shit at the open mic. I'm like, there's something to be said about being able to rock the same song, maybe not week after week, but month after month. Because we had The Good Life every week, every Thursday. But, and you wouldn't always get called. There's so many rappers, you wouldn't always get up. Like the hardcore OGs got up. CVE, you would hear from them every week. Hip Hop Clan, almost every week. If Freestyle Fellowship, any one of them was in the building, they get the mic because these are the people who OG, Microphone Mike, AC Alone, Self Jupiter, Jay Soombi, and Peace, God bless him. Those were the OGs that they got their deal, I believe, out of the Good Life era, but before 92, before I started coming, they were part of the reason I came to the Good Life. They put out an independent album called To Whom It May Concern, which I believe was nominated for a Grammy a couple years back for Best Reissue, something or other, remastered something. If you haven't heard that, please get it. Their style is lyrical ability, vocal dexterity, mic control, all breath control, all of it is next level. Still to this day, but in 90, 91, it was light years ahead of what it was happening. And that's what drew me in because, being a nerd and into sci-fi and hip hop, like I wanted to be on the next level. The Far Side, another group that came out of that scene. Skee-Lo, I wish I was a little bit taller. I saw him do that a couple times. I don't know how long he had been performing by it, but in 92, 93, I heard it a couple times. He got signed out of there.
Hello? I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good, I would call her. Wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a bat and 6'4" and baller. I wish I was like 6'9" so I could get with Leo.
It's alleged that Ice Cube came and videotaped, or someone from Street Knowledge Records or something came and videotaped Volume 10 specifically, who has a hit song, Pistol Grip Pump, which is a West Coast classic. He came out of the Good Life.
I was raised in the hood, called what the death. What the brothers in the hood be chivalrous. So I rest defense on my ligaments. Pistol grip pump on my lap. Risking it, so life-giving. Never giving it back, too late for slipping. So slack. Oh, it's on my lap, it's on your lips, so trap shut. I still dick long, slick but pump butts. And I'm saying ain't no question who the man is.
Someone came and videotaped him, and that's how the style for the group The Lynch Mob was developed. I'm not going to say yay or nay, that's just what I hear. Everybody who is anybody came through the Good Life in West Coast hip-hop history, including yours truly. And I don't say that to pat myself on the back, but I wouldn't be who I am without going there. So I'm 13, 14 years old, begging my mom, or braving the 210 bus line for me was, coming from my neighborhood. The 212 and, coming across Adams, it was bad. At night, with weed on me, going through various hoods, like I was getting there at any cost. Because I would imitate these styles. There's levels to this. There's imitation, emulation, and innovation. That's what I hear. I forget, there's a famous artist or someone who said it. Just like talking, you imitate what you hear as a baby. You imitate your parents. This gave me a way to, me, Scarab, and Eli and my homies would go back to our high school the next day and imitate. They were already innovating because they had went to school with some of the OGs and Good Life's little brothers, so they were ciphering since middle school on this level. I would have been rapping with myself. I had no people on my level. I had been freestyling off the head since the 3rd grade, but I was always like a show, like, go do that thing, do that thing, do the thing, do the thing, do the thing. But there was no one else who could do the thing with me. I found my community through the Good Life, and we would go as high schoolers, as teenagers, and cipher at lunchtime and using some of the choruses that we heard there, so using some of the techniques. Chopping is what they call, they were fast rapping. And we would get ideas on how to dress. And it was just older, cool dudes that we got to watch and be a part and be in community with. It changed my life. I no longer wanted to be like Crips or like athletes. I didn't want to be like Michael Jordan. I wanted to be like L.A. Cool. I wanted to be like AC Alone. I wanted to be like Peace. I wanted to be like Fish.
Yeah. I beat the beat like who's the shit thing. It's who they speak on Toby. I gave you 70 cents and I owed you 6 now you owe me. Show me. I don't feel honestly how far you can go. You just side the head with a crowbar just to let you know. I'm in back and I just bring back anyone can see when I get chin check. Block to the seat. Block the internet. Week till week. And I'm strong. This is talking on my phone.
I wanted to be like Figures of Speech, Urban Prop, like those are the female groups. And one of them, Figures of Speech, one of them in the group was Ava DuVernay. And she's the one who did the documentary, which led her to do magnificent things in cinema. If you don't know the name, look it up. Origin is probably one of her best films. If you haven't seen Origin, go see Origin. But she is still one of the best MCs, female MCs I've ever heard in my life. Best MCs, period, I've ever heard in my life. And if you want to talk about female duos, it's probably the best female duo I've ever heard in my life. And I do Groundwaves open mic and mentorship. I listen to hip hop all around the world. She's amazing. And so was her partner.
And that's the figures of speech I speak of when I speak. And that's the figures of speech I speak of when I speak. Check the melodies of sacred words repeat. Figures of speech, your figures of speech, the queens are speaking, so figure it out. Alpha, Omega, it's the era of a woman. Figures of speech, your figures of speech, the queens are speaking, so figure it out. Alpha, Omega, through me all things beginning and. Figures of speech, your figures of speech, the queens are speaking, so figure it out. Alpha, Omega, preserve the essence of the system. Figures of speech, your figures of speech, the queens are speaking, so figure it out.
Yeah, man. The labels would bring artists there from out of town. Fat Joe came. He got booed. I was there that night. I got the privilege and honor of telling that story, so to speak, on Hip Hop Evolution on Netflix. The West Coast edition. Shout out to Shad and Netflix for having me. But yeah, they took that part. And the funny thing is, I was like, fuck, man. Like, Fat Joe's not somebody you fuck with. And I didn't want to disrespect him. I have nothing but admiration for him. But I was like, damn, like I did a 3-hour interview with them talking about all kind of shit, and they took just that part. And then the funny thing is, Fat Joe confirmed it, right? Like he's like, I love that. Like he's so raw and humble, like, you know what I mean? Like just real. Like it's like, yeah, he's like, yeah. And it was mostly because he cussed, but he came up like, I'm Joe from the Bronx, but he had to walk. At that time, his big ass through, and whatever they say about his walk now, I don't know what happened to the brother, but he was not limping then. He was like all black denim suit, like Walker wear probably. Mobbing, just Walker wear, not Rocker wear, Walker wear. April Walker, shout out to her. And like just boom, mobbing through him. Everybody's booing him. These are grown men. There was one big ass Rasta dude. I just knew him as just like another, like I said, man that had a unique look and style that I admire, but he was no shit. And I Fat Joe on some, fuck you, son, fuck you. And it was like, oh, and I'm behind Fat Joe and his body is pushing, like as they're beefing, like he's pushing me back. And I'm like, I will get crushed. I'm probably 5'4" max, $120 at the time. I'm tiny. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, I'm like, man, if I get fucked up or trampled in here, my mind is not fuck my safety. I'm not going to be able to come back to the good life because I got squished by Fat Joe or punched by the roster trying to punch Fat Joe. I don't know, man. I was about to get mixed up. They need to go where there's nothing but space and opportunity, and that is outside. Is where they should have taken it. But it calmed down. But it's just like, I learned a lot of things like, yo, like you boost, there's no trolling, bro. And that's what, you know, if you've been to Groundwaves, you know, like there's no trolling. Dude booed Fat Joe, and Fat Joe wanted to see him about it, and he was ready to be seen about it. Like, that was that. You know what I'm saying? Two men having to stand their ground at their difference of opinion and disagreeing without being disrespectful. That's why it's please pass the mic, not shut the fuck up, get off the stage. And even though Fat Joe was cussing, no one cursed at him. I think that probably saved that situation from getting way crazier. Because Homeboy wasn't no punk, and Fat Joe's not no punk, and it wasn't. But because it started with a please, I'm just going to say that probably saved the situation from getting a lot more dire and saved the young Nicholas Carter from being squished, trampled, and never allowed back at the good life. Imagine you're at your local open mic and Earth Gang just pops up, or JID pulls up and just kills it. Like Soul Submissions came up freestyling like and we would take, the homie Eli would take his tape recorder. He has this moment on tape, on a cassette tape, because we would study these things. We would just record the whole night because there were songs you would never hear that I can never hear again. They only exist at the Good Life. before it was a hit, back in the day, was still a great song, but the only way I could hear it is if I took my ass to the open mic on Thursday and stood in community with my homies. And it was also because, and then we all knew the song. It became our song, like without the labels, without promotion, just a dope MC getting up, doing something dope, and a bunch of dope MCs knowing it and telling other people about it. Like legends would spread. And that those recorded tapes from people, we weren't the only ones recording. Their Good Life sessions all over would travel over. I met people overseas that had some of these songs. Some of these people had tapes that I had taped. I knew I was the one that made the tape. And people in England had the same tape that started with me. Like, this is how legends are made. This is how the culture was meant to be, I won't say distributed, how the vibes were meant to permeate the earth. Comes from, hip hop is an African culture from the griots, and this is what it was. It was no sign here. There was no written word. It was your word, the word. Even if you want to get biblical, because all glory to God. Like, our existence, if you're a believer, started with the word, with let there be light. Like, this is it. Like, the words are very important, and word of mouth was important to the culture, and Groundwaves is trying to bring that back. Like, where you have to be there. You can see it on IG, but I want it to be a vibe. We had the winter warm-up, the most recent Groundwaves event at the recording of this podcast. That was a night you had to be there. Fanon was in there killing it. Amina was in there killing it. Def C pulled up. Slade had bangers. Cool Out Chris. Like, we were, Yuli, like all these like local, the producers are there. It was a moment. Like, you gotta come out. Like, it's cool to watch it, but if you can be there, you have to be there. That's what we grew up on. It was like that for television. It was like that for everything, restoring that feeling. And we weren't the only ones. There was the hip hop shop in Detroit with Maurice Malone, who was a clothing designer. And in the hip hop shop, Proof, Eminem, Royce the 5'9", like, what? Lyricist Lounge, there was a dude named A.L. Skills who was legendary. Super Nat, New Eurekan Poets Cafe, like Wordsworth, Punchline, like these rappers in these on coast to coast. There was an open mic in Minneapolis, I forget the name of it, but Idea was there. Like, before there was Rhymesters, like, this is how we all met. This is how we met our people. This is how we got together and created movements that would, to me, and it's not just me, but would change the earth. This is how we shifted culture, because hip hop culture doesn't move without the underground. It started as an underground movement, and it will forever be moved by the underground, no matter how it is co-opted by the mainstream. That's why it's the mainstream. Like, the underground is the undercurrent. This is what makes the waves. This is Groundwaves. This is the reason I named it this. Groundwaves. The culture. The community. The come up. All right, y'all. It's time for another little break to highlight one of our artists from the Groundwaves community. This next artist is a staple in our Tulsa Groundwaves community. He goes by the name of Steph Simon. This is his newest and latest release, Built Different.
It ain't the same this way. Built different. Built different. Separate the hills from the hills. Yeah.
They don't grind like this, I ain't outside. They don't push a line like this. They don't push that pen, they don't rhyme like this. They be crying online, pops up like this. They ain't putting time like this. They ran from the grind, they don't shine like this. They ain't got favor to make plays like this. They gon' have to understand, I'm just built different.
Diamond, I built the lane like this. It was brick by brick every day. I was perfect attendance. Took a lot of L's to the chin. I was slated at first in the end, but it made me relentless. I was up early on the pavement. I got CDs, $5 for the tape.
And that's it, y'all. Groundwaves. It's hard for me to talk about and put into words. It's something you gotta experience. It's something to fly out and experience. It's free. I guarantee you it's worth it. I've heard from many people other than myself, there's nothing like it going on in hip hop right now. Please come and be a part of it. We operate the last week of every month in Chicago. Please follow us on IG or check the website for the details. it'll be worth your time to stay the whole week. But if you could just pop in for one night, I guarantee you'll feel what I feel. We've had people get married because of Groundwaves. We've had people move across the country because of Groundwaves. We've had community organizations start to go do this program in juvenile detention centers because they were able to find themselves a home at Groundwaves. They felt so empowered. They wanted to go out and share their feeling. This is all about community, inspiration, love, respect, togetherness, all built on the foundation of hip-hop. If you can't make it out, once again, just tune in whenever you get a new episode update and share this podcast with others. Maybe they'll be inspired. Maybe you'll be inspired to do something like this wherever you are in the world. And before we get out of here, I want to play one more artist from the Groundwaves community. His name is Bang, Baang, coming out of Northwest Arkansas. One of my favorite rappers, period, at the moment. And this is a song he performed for the first time ever, fresh out the studio at Groundwaves, Arkansas. It's called Say I'm Lying.
Yeah, look. I'm a stage rocker, champagne popper, say I'm lying. I'm a speaker knocker, never love a bopper, say I'm lying. I got it on right now. I had it on back then. I get a rack, pop out. I'm about to go up 10. Look, if I ever say I love you, you my brother, we ain't friends. If you never see me struggle, ain't no way we gon' be kin. I got it on right now. I had it on back then. Look, I take my losses like bosses. That's the only way you gon' win. Ain't no love in this business. Relentless, the road for the riches, and I'm on the interstate. I'm in the trenches, it's different. I should keep my distance, but
Thanks for tuning in to the Groundwaves Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, please leave us a rating or review on Apple or Spotify. It'll help other folks like you find the show. If you're an MC or producer looking for a place to develop your craft and connect with real community, check out groundwaveshiphop.com or follow at groundwaveshiphop on IG. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Until then, keep creating, exchanging ideas, and loving on each other, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.